Welcome to your Daily Writing Habit, episode number 193. If you are writing a book or thinking about it, or perhaps you've started writing your book but you're having some trouble finishing it, or maybe you need some marketing help reaching your readers and selling your book, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh, also known as Christine Inc., I-N-K, christine-inc.com. Each day I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 18 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and they can turn someone who kind of thinks of themselves as a non-author or aspiring author into one. Those three things are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. Here's today's quote. "The most courageous act is still to think for yourself, aloud," by Coco Chanel. And as an indie author, it's pretty courageous to think for yourself in writing. And that's what we're talking about. So this past Friday, October 18th, episode number 191, I kicked off a conversation about your publishing plan and talked about kind of which types of authors might want to consider publishing traditionally. And today we're going to talk about the self or indie publishing side and for which of you that might be the best option. So here's the first group of people who might benefit the most from self or indie publishing their books. Memoir authors. And this is information I have kind of from the front lines of publishing. I'm friends with some pretty interesting people and literary agents, and I get a lot of information about this. And memoirs are honestly very hard to sell to a traditional publisher unless you have either some sort of extreme life event or, of course, if you're a celebrity. Now, I want to make this point here. Don't confuse this publishing recommendation that I'm recommending that memoir authors consider self-publishing that has anything to do with the potential value of your book for readers. Because I say this a lot, there are a lot of people out there who are in desperate need of your story and message to, at the very least, help them, to, at most, potentially change the course of their entire life. The power of a memoir is unmistakable. So absolutely share your story. I'm specifically here talking about whether, traditional or self-publishing might be the best option for you. So please don't confuse the value of, cash-strapped traditional publishers where every yes has a price tag. So don't confuse the value that they might place on your story with the value that your readers might place on your story, which is it's almost undefinable because you can completely change lives from that. So we're simply talking about publishing plan today. Two entirely different conversations, but that's the first group of folks who might seriously want to consider self-publishing as memoir authors. The next group are entrepreneurs and others who have kind of what I call the business gene, the entrepreneurial, the self-marketing gene, people who are willing to market themselves and their books. Especially people with existing businesses where they can simply add their new author brand and books to their existing business model. Business people who already have a following of loyal customers and fans anyway. Therefore, introducing a personal brand of, this new role in your life and your business as author, and what comes with that is speaker and thought leader and all sorts of other things that come with the title of author. All these things that come from being a published author, that's really an extension of the existing relationships you have with your customers and your fan base. And I personally find that my business clients also tend to prefer self-publishing to traditional because they are used to calling their own shots. Really, suddenly if you're at the mercy of a publisher, from publishing timeline to all the creative decisions involved, the cover design and the editing and the changes and all that and the marketing, business people, they don't really like that so much because we're used to being very much in control and autonomous in our businesses and making our own decisions. So all of a sudden being, at the discretion of a publisher, sometimes that's not kind of a good relationship fit. In my experience, that's the truth because those are the majority of my clients. So that's what I hear from them. As I mentioned on Friday, in Friday's episode, this doesn't mean you have to do it all yourself. You don't have to create your author brand, your website, publish your book. There are people who can help you. But technically, if you are taking the lead and being proactive and hiring the resources you need and making it happen, you are a self-published / indie author. which you'll see if you look up the hashtag indie authors on things like Instagram and Twitter. That's a badge of honor these days to be an indie author. Never underestimate the power of an indie movement, from filmmaking, all the way back from, I talked in a recent episode about the indie film movement that was really kind of having its heyday in the late 1990s, all the way through independent publishing today and being an indie author. So that's an important thing. And, yeah, sorry. I think it's Monday, right? So yeah, that's where I was going with that, is being an indie author is kind of a net positive. Starting in, when self-publishing was starting out, maybe not so much the case, but definitely if you're in the groups that I described, especially, memoir authors and especially business people that have existing businesses, entrepreneurs, and you're looking to publish a book, adding that stamp of indie author might be the exact thing you need for your brand and your reputation. So in summary, traditional publishing is best for authors who are willing to let someone else call the shots and handle the publishing, distribution, and marketing of their book, although publishers do prefer that all authors, especially first-time authors, have an existing platform of potential readers so that you're not totally off the hook with marketing with traditional. Remember, you still do have to create a list and a social media following. You still need to be able to prove to agents and publishers that you can help them sell your books. And on the self-indie side, best for memoir authors and existing entrepreneurs and business owners, and even aspiring entrepreneurs and business owners. So do you have questions about your publishing plan? Be sure and drop by my Inc. Authors group on Facebook, INK, Inc. Authors, for motivation, accountability, book writing, publishing resources, and again, any questions that you may have about the distinctions between traditional and self-publishing. I'll help you as much as I can. Thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I'm helping you write and finish writing an awesome book. And if you know someone else who wants to write an awesome book, please let them know about the show, Your Daily Writing Habit. Until tomorrow, happy writing.